Massachusetts court rules no search warrant needed to look at calls lists on cellular phones. Job for outreach worker for Cambodian residents disappears. And in sports, Red Sox continue to sign superstars. Tonight we have a special report with Kyle Sullivan on the American Groundwater Trust Conference on Shale Oil at UMass next Thursday.
We're really wanting to provide an information exchange opportunity for the citizens and communities in the areas that are covered by the map that has shown that there may be potential for shale gas in Connecticut and Massachusetts. And we've done information programs in Texas and North Carolina where we have found it be a very useful opportunity for the hype to disappear and for some facts and figures to appear so that people can make informed decisions and judgments about what might or might not happen.
That was Andrew Stone, the Executive Director of the American Groundwater Trust, an organization that is looking into the potential for shale gas extraction in western Massachusetts, and more broadly, the northeastern part of the United States. The Trust is hoping to have a discussion with landowners, town officials, and community members on the facts surrounding shale gas in Massachusetts and the reality of exploration and production of the resource in this state. UMass Amherst is hosting the event in room 163C of the campus center next Thursday, December 13th. Stone explained the intention and the goals behind putting on this event.
Well, the reason we're doing this is because the United States Geological Survey published in July a report on shale gas potential in the northern part of the U.S., and included in the report was the fact that there may be potential for shale gas in the basins that underlie essentially the Connecticut Valley.
Though the American Groundwater Trust is hoping to make some real progress with this conference, not all are nearly as pleased with their presence due next week. Such is the case with Katie McDonald, a young woman who has organized a meeting tomorrow at the Christ United Methodist Church entitled Beat Back Fracking, due to be held at 7 p.m.
So 2 days ago, I found out that hydraulic fracturing was being considered in Massachusetts, and that the University of Massachusetts was hosting a Shale Gas in Massachusetts conference on December 13th to discuss this possibility. And so, I figured I'd get involved. I know a lot about fracking and have been exposed to some of the dangers that it can pose to local communities. And I knew that myself, some of my allies and friends would definitely be intent on trying to spread some awareness and transparency about what those dangers could be.
McDonald explained her understanding of fracturing and the potential dangers that accompany it.
Hydraulic fracturing, or fracking, was developed in the 1950s, and it's essentially a method of natural gas extraction that involves drilling up to 10,000 feet down into shale outcroppings, geologic formations underground, and then drilling sideways, essentially to exploit a larger area of gas underground. And the way that the process works is that very, very high volumes of chemicals are pumped underneath the ground to essentially open up cracks, and through the cracks, the natural gas that occupies the space in the shale is released and then taken back above ground for processing and shipment. Fracking is the most chemically intensive form of extraction known to man for fossil fuels.
The first talk to be held at the conference at 9 a.m. is entitled Public Perceptions and Misperceptions of Shale Gas Development Impacts, which will be given by Andrew Stone himself. He commented on the misperceptions of shale gas in the public eye.
I think the misperceptions come largely from information that is put out there, either on the internet or through the media, that does not tell the true story of how these energy sources are developed and how it actually works. One of the biggest problems that has come is that this particular development of this energy resource has been described as the fracking issue. It's all to do with hydraulic fracking, and we don't want to frack this and we don't want to frack that. And the reality is that the hydraulic fracturing process in and of itself does not really cause any problems. Does the development of shale gas in the broad sense have the potential to cause problems? Yes, and many of those problems that have been documented result from surface spills, from mishandling, from leaks of tanks, They don't result from the actual subsurface process of breaking up the rocks. And so the press, the media, has incorrectly characterized the shale gas development process as hydraulic fracturing, and yet the hydraulic fracture is just one tiny part of the whole spectrum of technologies that are brought to bear to bring these energy resources to the surface.
As the event's being hosted next week, some students are concerned that they will not be able to participate in any regard, given that its scheduling correlates with class finals, among other issues.
As I mentioned, we'd heard that this conference is happening at UMass, and also became aware that not only was it prohibitively expensive for students to attend, it's about $100 per person. That's totally unreasonable for students. It's also being hosted by the American Groundwater Trust, which is an organization whose entire staff membership are people who are ex-oil industry experts.
The claim Katie McDonald made is not entirely accurate. The board of directors of the American Groundwater Trust lists affiliations with names associated with the energy industry, but not oil directly. Some of the directors are associated with names such as the United Water Conservation District, Halliburton, Baroy Industrial Drilling Products, Cody Chemical, Preferred Pump and Equipment, and Parsons Engineers. Much like the American Groundwater Trust, Katie similarly intends to educate the public.
What we really want to do is basically get all our ducks in a row so that we can provide people in the UMass and local communities who might be affected with really like an education packet about, what science says about fracking and what fracking could mean to the valley.
So what could so-called fracking mean for the Pioneer Valley? Well, Andrew Stone provided his own opinion on the matter.
The chances are right now, with the gas prices the way they are and the fact that the resource is unlikely to be very large anyway, I think it's unlikely that anywhere in the near future there are going to be drilling rigs appearing in central Massachusetts.
Regardless of what happens as a result of the conference next week, groups in the Pioneer Valley are planning on getting involved in the shale gasoline discussion, whether or not they are to pay the $100 registry fee for the event.
The Progressive Democrats of America and the Green Rainbow Party will be hosting an event this Thursday, the 6th, at Christ United Methodist Church in Northampton. The anti-fracking group from UMass will be meeting next Wednesday the 12th to plan the teach-in for Thursday the 13th. So if people are interested, I'd encourage them to type in "Don't Frack the Valley" on Facebook and find out more about those meetings.
Shale Gas in Massachusetts, the title of the event, will be held Thursday, December 13th from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Those interested in shale gas in Massachusetts can visit the UMass Town Board website's event page or can learn more about the American Groundwater Trust at www.agwt.org. For WMUA News, I'm Kyle Sullivan.